Alright, I'm about to put our voices on, alright? Alright. Alright, what's going on, guys? This is going to be our first episode of Matrix Unplugged. Your hosts are going to be myself, White Dragon, and then I got PB the guy with me. What's going on, Payton?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get moving on. So the first thing I want us to go over is who are the league administrators. So our commissioners, you've got me, I'm the CEO, putting everything together. Then you've got your two conference commissioners. You got B. More to T-Town. I know I spelled it wrong right there. I'll take care of it. But that's Marquise. He's over the NFC. Then you got Danny Boy RR. He's going to be over the AFC. We got our trade committee. That's going to be DNL 42, Paper Trail 91, Fountain XO, FX Fly, and then you have two alternates just in case two people in the trade committee are part of a trade. So the alternates are going to be myself and then Alpha Male for now to you. And we have a graphics team, only two people right now, myself and Mr. Black. And then for the admins, I'm going to let Payton go over the admins and what their jobs are.
The admins in the chat, we have Alpha Male for now to you, and his job is just basically to set up everything in the chat, make sure everybody's active, and yeah, then the roster in the NFC is me, PB the God, and then the roster for the AFC. He'll be going through the legal changes and position changes and make sure everything's okay and nothing was moved. And that is the Bliss.
Alright, cool. So we got people watching you guys, so learn these position changes, know the rules, and if you break them, we got somebody looking for it. So on to the next thing, we got the upcoming schedule. So we already opened free agency late last night, early this morning. There were a couple of, actually a lot of quick signings. Pretty much all the top tier guys are gone. There's still a little bit of depth out there, so if you need to fill in some depth, go ahead and take a look out there, see what you can get. Right now we've got our podcast going on. Preseason week 1 is today. If you guys want to play your games, go ahead, play them. No worries, but you have to play the user. You cannot play a computer. If you don't want to play it, you don't have to, but the preseason is a good time to start learning how to set your games up, how to schedule them, how to post your broadcast if you want to broadcast, and just try to figure out all the ins and outs of the games before we get to August 9th. So if you come at me August 9th and you start asking questions on how to set up a game, you had all week to figure that out. So go ahead and get some practice in. But the regular season is going to begin on the 9th. The advanced times, we're going to try to keep the advanced times in the middle of the day. That way they don't affect anybody. So the advanced times are going to be like around 3 or 4 o'clock. That way we're never going to be waiting up for somebody, oh, let me get my game in, before we advance at 12. So we're going to try to keep the advanced right in the middle of the day. A few quick notes. So we are going to clear all the cap penalties after week 4. I'll do it again at the end of the first year, and after that it's going to go based on rewards. So, you shouldn't be penalized for picking a team and somebody else sign players to stupid contracts and all that stuff. So after week 4, you've got all your cuts done. We'll go ahead and clear cap penalties for you. Make sure you go ahead and cut your rosters down to 53 players now. If you don't, the computer's going to cut people, and they might cut Tom Brady, and I don't want to hear you complaining about it. So go ahead and take care of that now. Create a coach only. I made sure I got this out there multiple times. I know I put a lot of info out. You guys get sick of hearing it, but I do it because I know people are going to fuck up. So make sure you do head coach only, no owner, no existing coach. The reason for that is if you use an existing coach, you have an advantage on XP and different things like that. When you create a coach, we all start level playing field, and you got to build your coach up. And then no trading until week 3. So you can go ahead and talk about your trades, get them lined up, get them to the trade committee. The reason we're doing that, we want to make sure that the people who are here are going to be here. We don't want people coming into the league, they're here for 1 week, and they might be buddy-buddy with Payton and say, hey man, I'm going to send all my players to you, and then I'm going to dip on the league. No, we got to make sure that you understand your team, you're rolling, we're good to go, give the trade committee time to get set up. So on to the next thing. So I'm going to let Payton kind of go over this a lot, but we're going to talk about the team selections, who went where, picks people made, if we thought a team went too high or too low. So in these 32 selections, Payton, what's some of the biggest things that stood out to you?
Actually, the Cowboys, I'm surprised they really fell there in the middle at 16. But also, I believe the Falcons fell at 14. So there's some pretty good, decent teams in the middle. I feel like this year it's really kind of balanced. There's not really too many and everybody can be good, and it's like pretty good level playing field. So I feel like this year it shouldn't be as too bad.
Yeah, definitely the Falcons and the Cowboys shouldn't have fell that far. Cowboys at 16, that's a steal. I think some of the ones that stick out to me are definitely the Chargers at pick 18. I have no idea how they made it that far. That was a pretty nice move. I know you got a lot of flack for picking the Rams at number 1, but I think that was solid. I think you've got a win now team. All you've got to do is reload. You don't have to rebuild. Let's see here. Shock the Dolphins.
Chiefs at 11.
That was nice. You know, the Chiefs, I thought that was going to be a top 3 selection right there. I was shocked they went to 11. Browns, they went top 3. I saw that coming. Colts was a little bit of a shocker. Darnell going Colts at 6. They're a strong team, but a lot of people were sleeping on them. I thought they were going to fall outside the top 15.
Yeah, that's true. I actually still think you have one of the craziest picks inside the top 5. You actually got the Jets.
Well, I went for uniforms, so you can change your players, you can build a team, you can get better at the game, but you can't change the uniforms. So they just changed their uniforms this year, and they look pretty good.
Yeah.
So numbers 22 and 31, we had to get rid of those guys. They were unresponsive. They weren't paying attention. We gave them 2 or 3 weeks to hit us up in the chat, change their name. We didn't hear anything back from them, so we moved in praying for a brick. And Bizzle BIH 1992, so glad to have you guys in. Sorry you didn't get to make your own selections, but you're in the league now. So we'll move on to the next thing. So let's do a quick breakdown of the AFC West, Payton. So we got the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Broncos. What's this AFC West looking like to you?
That's actually an interesting division. Should be a pretty balanced division. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top, but I'm pretty sure... I don't know, man. I like all those players. I feel like it's very balanced. I don't know who's gonna come out on top, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Styles with the Chiefs. I played with him in 32-man leagues before, and he's really solid. He can beat anybody, but he can also lose to anybody. He's real big into building his team, so you never know if he's taking the year off or if he's gonna be competing. Sonny's really good at just, setting up his games and playing. He's just got to get in the lab, and I know he's not going to do it. He's got to get off of Apex. Over the surprise for me is going to be it's going to be the Broncos over there with Antonio Houston. So I don't really know what he's going to be doing. I know he took Madden 19 off, so I'm going to say that Danny's going to take over this division. I think it's going to be a close one between Danny and the Chiefs, but I see the Broncos and the Chargers. If they get their shit together, they could be a problem down the road.
I agree.
So we already went over some of these people here in the NFC West. These are some of the custom avatars we did. If you guys want one, hit me up. I'll put your phone number on there, your PSN. That way you can kind of take some stuff off your name in the chat. So we're at the AFC North now. So, what do you think about the AFC North here, Payton? We got some heavy hitters in this one. We got Sherrod with the.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
This is another interesting division. We got Alpha Male 49 to you, the Bless. You got Blackout. You got Ant-Man. So it's gonna be a really interesting division. I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Really want to see.
This one's gonna be tough. I know that. I know Ant-Man. He labs sometimes with Sherrod. Sherrod's got a nasty quarterback over there with Lamar Jackson, that 94 speed, and if anybody can use it, I know it's going to be him. The Blessed, don't really know much about him. I know he came in from online, but I know he's a vet Madden player, so he's probably got his stuff together. But this is going to be tough here. I have no idea who's going to come out on this one.
Me either at all. It's another interesting division to watch out for during the season.
Definitely. So let's move on. And we'll get on to the AFC East. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it real. This is probably going to be the weakest division in the game. I'm pretty sure you agree with me on that one, Payton.
Yeah, I can somewhat agree. I'm not too sure because I'm not too sure about the players in that division. But just based off the teams, I guess you could say. I never guess the players out there or base them off their team, but should be. It's gonna be interesting. Most of these divisions are gonna be very interesting. But some divisions got heavy hitters, some got new players, and it's gonna take some people to kind of adjust. It's gonna take some time, but it should be interesting.
Definitely. I know over at the Bills we got that's Pierre. He's a Provo soup with me. He's got to get more active in the chat or his ass is going to be gone. I hope you're listening to this, Pierre. Goat Madden, he's a real quiet dude. I've played with him in 32-man leagues before. He plays all his games. He can hang right in there with the big guys, but he's just got to get in the lab, man. I know he's got a lot going on. He's a busy dude, but if he gets in that lab, he'll be able to make the playoffs. And I have no idea about this Dolphins guy. He's a dark horse. He came in through Twitter. I don't have any clue what this guy is going to be like. He could be, the next Sherrod. This guy could be a bum. We never know. All right, so we're going to move on to the next division. All right, Payton, so we got the NFC East. This one's going to be a really tough one, I think.
I'll let you about that. This is teams right here. I was trying to figure out who was new and who I knew. Person I don't know about these other guys, so I'll let you fall for that one. I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, so, all right, so in the Eagles, we got Marquise. He had the second pick with the Eagles, and then we got Event Delaire with the Cowboys. We got Mad Cal over in the Giants, then we got JT the Boss. JT the Boss is a dog. Don't sleep on him. The dude works a lot. He's all about his money, but he still finds time to lab. He can beat the best. He's a damn good Madden player. This guy Event Delaire, he's been posting a lot of chat, a lot of stuff talking about how good he is. 50-0 online and all this garbage, so we're actually going to see what's up. Marquise and JT the Boss going to see how good this guy is. And I know Mad Cal, he's big in free agency, looking at his squad. He knows how to build a team. I got to say he's probably going to be one of the better team builders just by watching what he's been doing in the chat and in the group. So now we got the AFC South, and in the AFC South we got Tony, we got Kendall, we got Ron over with the Falcons, and then we got Trell with the Panthers. So I know you know a good bit about Trell, Payton, so what you thinking about this division?
Yeah, I feel like this should be a good division. If Trell stays in the lab, plays good defense, good user defense across the middle, he just tries to run it up, but it could hurt him at the end if he doesn't find a volume game and keep it moving. Then he'll find himself down a lot of points. But other than that, he's a pretty good Madden player.
Yeah, I have to say Latrell he's probably got the best big play capability. However, he's one of the most inefficient offenses. So he's going to throw 8 touchdowns, 700 yards, but he's going to throw 10 picks. So just all you got to do is watch those big plays, but he's going to kill people with them. So if you don't know how to stop the big plays, he is going to beat you guys 80-10 every time. So don't let him get 60 pass attempts in a game. So I know you probably don't know much about Ron Smith. Ron used to work up at the job with us. He's a really good Madden player, but he's just like you. When 2K comes out, I don't know if he's going to dip, if he's going to be focused on Madden or 2K. And then Tony's going to be a dark horse. He didn't play Madden 19. Same thing, Kendall. I know he came in with Mad Cal. I believe him and Mad Cal are their boys. So this one's going to be up in the air, but I'm going to have to say I think Payton's going to take this one. We'll see if one of these other guys can make some noise, but I think Payton's got this one. I'm sorry, Latrell, my bad. I think Latrell's got this one.
It's all good.
All right, so that leaves us with one last division to go over, and that's going to be the NFC North. In the NFC North, this one's really, really going to be up in the air, but I think that Clarence might take this one. We got Clarence up in the Vikings. We got Juwan Crawford over with the Packers, Streets Bloods with the Lions, and we got Bruce with the Bears. What do you think about this division? You think it's going to be a runaway with Clarence up there?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a little toss-up, but I'm pretty sure the Vikings are going to take this one. I would go for it if I put my money on it. Clarence is a good game, plays good defense, has good offense, more balance. So on offense, up-tempo game. I don't know about these other guys. I haven't really seen them play, but I'd probably have to go for the Vikings if I had to put my money on somebody.
Yeah, on paper, the best roster in here is going to be the Bears. So I know Bruce has the Bears. We're going to see, how he does with them. Jawan's got the Packers. They look really good on paper. The Lions need some work. That's a new guy we added in, Streets Bloods. Looks like he's ready to get some trades going and stuff like that. But on paper, the best two teams, I got to say, is the Packers and the Bears. But I really think, just based off of user skills and gameplay, I agree with you. It's going to have to be Clarence taking this one.
Yeah, and some of y'all, if y'all hearing this, prove us wrong, man. I mean, we're just going based off who we think. We don't really know. You guys, somebody newcomers. I mean, prove us wrong.
Right, like he said, a lot of you guys, you're quiet in the chat. You play your games here and there, so we don't know much about you. But trust me, once we get this thing rolling, we'll get some more podcasts out, and we'll definitely show people love for playing well. And if you play like trash, we're definitely going to show you some love for being a bum. So one last thing I want us to go over. People are really confused with a lot of the rules, or they're just not reading them. So I know I've got a lot of information out, but a lot of questions are being asked. But I made sure I put a lot of resources out there. And all the rules are separated. So if you have a question about scheduling, you can go to the calendar and the group chat, and you can just look at scheduling. So Payton, can you explain the scheduling to them a little bit so we can try to get some clarity on the scheduling issues?
Scheduling, basically, you just want to get in touch with other people as far as, reach out to them and see when you can play or see when they can play. What's the best time y'all can come to an agreement to play. And just try your best. I mean, just try to communicate with the other person. I mean, you have their number or you have them on GroupMe, so just hit them up and try to schedule up your games. I mean, you get rewarded for playing all your games. I mean, I don't know who would want to take a free like Cap. I mean, take it all away if you have big contracts or anything like that. So I mean, yeah, just play your game, stay consistent, and try to have fun.
Right. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We know everybody works. Everybody's got a life. Everybody's got kids and stuff. However, it takes 20 seconds to hop on an app and click, "Hey, when are you free?" If you're somebody that's never free and you're trying to say, "Hey, I can only play at 11:05 a.m. every single day for a span of 30 minutes," this might not be the league for you. So you got to make yourself available. Make sure that, there's some normal times you can reach out and play. If you say the only times I can play every night are 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., that's not going to work for anybody. So, make sure you put yourself in the other person's shoes. As soon as we advance the week, go ahead and start scheduling those games. Don't wait until the end. If you don't get that game scheduled on the first day and everybody else has played, we're probably going to advance on you because you haven't reached out to your opponent. Once we get to the off-season stages, we're looking at about a 12 or 24-hour advance. Like I said, schedule your game in that first 24 hours. And it's your responsibility to reach out to your opponent through the GroupMe chat and direct message. Don't come to a commissioner. Don't come to the chat administrator looking for somebody. Everybody has the resource to @ the person. You're going to @ whatever their name is. Then you can DM them and ask them when they can play, and you guys set it up. If you set up a time, don't be too late. If you're out in the streets, you're out drinking, you're partying, doing whatever, let them know. Say, "Hey, man, I probably can't play until 1 or 2 o'clock." Give yourself that extra grace period. But, try to keep a 30-minute grace period if you do schedule something. So if you tell somebody you're playing at 9 o'clock, be there at 9 o'clock. All right.
Talking about the last division.
Yeah, right here. Oh, man, look, we fucking up, dude. I'm sorry. That's why I got you here, Payton. Payton, this is your division. Run it for me. Tell me what's up.
Okay. Only person I know good money a couple times. Pretty solid player. Not too sure about that. This is gonna be actually interesting. It's actually one of the. I'm actually glad I don't know these two guys though. They seem like they're pretty good. They're balanced teams. So I know we got Jamroz up with the Cardinals, and he hit me up on Twitter, and he was like, "Hey man, this is before we even started the league or anything. You got the Cardinals available." I was like, "Man, I don't know. We do a random lottery, so we'll see what happens." He ended up getting pushed back to number 14 in the lottery. I'm really glad he got his Cardinals. I think he lives out there. I think, his little nephew is Kyler Murray or some shit like that. I don't know. But that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But glad to know that he got the team he wanted. We got Theo up there with the Niners. Theo's good, but I want to make sure he's going to stay in the league. He's got a really solid team, a team that's built for the future. I don't want to hear no after 2 weeks, "Oh, I can't do it. No, I can't do it." So he needs to keep on playing. He needs to give you a challenge. Praying for a brick is solid. I'm going to let you know that right now with the Seahawks. I played with this guy before. He's solid, so you're going to have to watch out over there, especially having Bobby Wagner up the middle. But
That's all they're really worried about. They got a good solid team. People sleep on them. I'm not asleep at all. I'm locked in.
and then we know you trash. So as soon as 2K comes out, your ass gonna be on 2K, or you can be playing Fortnite or Minecraft or something. But good luck for the first 2 or 3 weeks, man.
What at Warcraft or anime or something?
Yeah, all that good stuff. So sorry for the hiccup, guys. So we'll get back to where we were. My bad. That's on me. That's why Peyton's in charge, not me. All right. So disconnects replays. So a lot of us have been in 32-man leagues, multiple seasons, multiple years. We know the deal. We know how people are going to cheat. We know people are going to pull the plug. Don't do it. This ain't going to be the league for you. If you do stuff like that, you're going to get kicked out of the league. I'm actually going to flag you on League Crawler, on Madden Accord, on Batty Leagues. I'm going to let people know you're a plug puller. So if you do get a disconnect, we understand stuff happens, internet goes out, EA server shut down. Make sure you provide a screenshot or a video clip of the disconnection screen. So real quick, you just hold the share button, take a screenshot of whatever it says. You're going to send that to a commissioner, and if a commissioner says, all right, y'all are good, go ahead, replay the game, go ahead and do so. If the score was like 31-2 in the third quarter, you're going to have to use those numbers. So y'all would just run a game back and say, hey, let's just play the first half, and you've got a 30-something point lead. But y'all can work that out. That's why we need to see the screenshots or the video clip. We kind of have a safeguard in here for this. So if there's 5 or more disconnects in a season, you might be removed from the league because you either got really shitty internet or you're pulling the plug. So don't pull the plug, and don't quit games. If Peyton's losing, 68-10. Ain't no just, I'm quitting.
Well, it's plug time, baby.
Oh,
it's
yeah, right? But if you're getting beat, you got to take your loss. People are earning their stats. We have longevity in the league. This isn't just a pickup game. If you're sitting here thinking this is a pickup game, this is not the league for you. This is franchise. We all try to build our stats, build our players. If you're
serious.
right,
if you're getting that butt whooped, and just take it like a man.
Take it. If you want to, you can reach out to your opponent and say, hey, look, you clearly got me beat. Can we just chew clock and get this thing over with? That's cool if they want to do it. But definitely don't just quit the game and say, give me the forced loss. It don't work like that. You got to take your loss. Slow the game down if you know you're getting beat that bad.
If you know your opponent's a high up tempo player that tries to try to change up the game, try to change up the tempo, hold the ball. You know what I'm saying? Play a little different, make them change up their game style.
Right.
You might come out on top.
Right. Slow it down. And I'm not the best player at all, but nobody's hanging 60 on me. I'll tell you that right now. You ain't hanging a 60 piece on me. I'm slowing the game down. If I see you're that much better than me, you're touching the ball 2 or 3 more times, and I'm not talking about using the chew clock feature. I'm just saying I'm going to play football. I'm going to make sure I run that ball, at least try to get a couple of first downs. But, if you guys that want to keep chunking the ball deep and going for it on fourth, and you're doing that against the guy that's better, he's going to beat you 60 or 70 to nothing, and you shouldn't be crying about it. So slow the game down. Don't play into their hands. So can you go over the streaming for us a little bit, Peyton, on who has to stream, why stream, and all that good stuff?
It's basically streaming. The game of the week and all playoff games must be streamed home and away. So that means you're streaming this game of the week, big time. Everybody's going to try to tune in. Both of y'all have to stream, so see it from both point of views. Players suspected of cheating can be forced to stream at any time. So if somebody's saying, oh, he's cheating or he's doing this or he's doing that, you have to show proof, or you have to, stream and show that you're not cheating and it's all legit.
Right. So like let's say Peyton and I are playing, and let's say he's not blitzing 3 people, he's putting 11 people in coverage. I'm gonna hit him up in a DM. I'm gonna say, hey man, you're not blitzing anybody. You're putting everybody into coverage. You're cheating. So I might say, all right, you're gonna have to punt the ball. And if he doesn't agree to punt the ball, well then I've got to show that proof to a commissioner. So if you're gonna accuse somebody of cheating, it's on you to prove it. So you got to prove it to somebody, and then once we look at that, we can force anybody to stream. So thank you for touching on that.
No problem.
And then the last point, if you'd go over that one for me too, Peyton.
Not the game talking about, the general rule.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, this is still on streaming. So I'll get it. I'll take care of it. So the last thing on streaming. Okay. Although the only games that we require to stream are the games of the weeks and the playoffs, we highly recommend that everybody streams. That way, if somebody cheats, something like that, you can have all the streams saved in your archive. So you're going to go to your Twitch settings or your YouTube settings, and it'll save your gameplay clips, your gameplay streams. That way, if somebody did do some cheating stuff or whatever, you can say, hey, y'all go back and look at it in the first quarter with 2 minutes on the clock. Dude was doing ... So we highly recommend that you stream. Learn how to stream. Everyone's going to have to stream at some point. I'll be streaming some of my games, maybe against people that I know play kind of shady. That way, if anything does pop off, I got proof of it. So the gameplay rules, Peyton. My bad for getting us all over the place. If you'll hit on the gameplay rules for me.
Oh, my bad. I was stuck on the general rules.
Oh, man, I messed this up. It was on me, dude.
I'm just looking through. But so I already went through streaming to the gameplay rules. So like I said, like you were saying, feed off of it. You must rush 3 at all times. You can't have 9, 10, or 11 in coverage and every time. And defense is all over the field. You have to have somebody rushing at them. No chew clock feature in situations that aren't reasonable. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a situation like that.
So the chew clock, if the game just started and you scored a touchdown on your opening drive and you get the ball back, it's not reasonable to chew clock. It's ridiculous. If you're trying to prevent the other person from ever touching the ball, that's unreasonable. I've seen some guys up at the job. They're not in the league anymore with us, thank God. But they get one touchdown. They took 15 plays to do it. They get a lucky stop. They get a lucky stop on defense, and then right, and then their goal for the whole rest of the game. They don't care if they score again. They just want to run every bit of the clock out, use the chew clock. Be reasonable, you guys. The gameplay rules, they're really relaxed. We didn't want a lot of stuff in here. That turns a lot of people off. We don't have fourth down rules. We don't have play call rules. But don't use chew clock when it's not called for. If you're up and you got a lead, it's towards the end of the game and you're wanting to make sure you lock it down, that's reasonable. If you're getting your ass beat by 50 points and you want to keep that person from breaking records on you, that's reasonable. So, the next issue is the no huddle thing. So I believe Madden has touched on this a little bit. We might have to change this a little bit, but I know in Madden 18 and Madden 19, it was really glitchy. You could just keep on calling no huddle, no huddle, no huddle, and if you were on defense, you couldn't even select a play. You couldn't even call an audible. You couldn't make any adjustments. It kind of broke the game. So for now, it's going to be you can't run no huddle more than 2 consecutive times. So you come out, you get a good play, you liked it, you liked the defense the guy was in, for your offense, you call no huddle real quick, that's cool. You can't call 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 no huddles and that be your entire offense. Once you get inside the final 2 minutes, that's football. 2-minute drill, do what you got to do. That's understandable. Final 2 minutes of either half.
Tip drill.
Whoa. All right, hey, that's a whole nother podcast right there. Shit. All right, so if your opponent violates a gameplay rule, request a punt to remedy the infraction. So if somebody breaks that rule, hit them up, say, hey, man, you broke this rule, you need to punt the ball to me. Some people just may not know the rule. They may not have read it. So give them the opportunity to correct it. If they don't correct it, then you get with the commissioner. But we're all grown adults. I'm not babysitting. Figure it out, guys. If you know you did something dirty, somebody called you out on it, punt the ball. And again, we can't stress this enough. No quitting games. Take your loss and finish the game. So now we're on general rules, Peyton, if you want to hit that up.
General rules. No contract glitches, re-signing glitches. Must create a coach, no existing coaches, no owners. The reason for that is it gives everybody a level playing field. Because I feel like certain coaches might have more experience than others. So I mean that's good that we did that. Group me nickname must include your team name and your PSN account. Most of y'all, if y'all decide how to get into this 32-man league, man, be active. Just don't, unless you're really busy or you're on vacation, just let somebody know something or communicate. That's the biggest thing. As long as you let somebody know something, then it's good.
Right, and if you're on vacation, you can change your name and just put, Falcons PlayStation ID on vacation, or you can put Falcons quotation marks, you get force win. Just, let people know. I go on vacation too. I know what it's like, but at least tell us ahead in advance. Like I know the Bills is going to Africa late in September for like a week or two. As long as you let us know in advance, at least we know that's one less game we have to worry about scheduling, and we can set up the force loss. So like Peyton said, just communicate. That's all you got to do.
And we got the one-time vote call.
Yes.
Yeah, one-time vote call.
Yeah, so this is going to be a big deal right here, guys. So I wanted to make sure that in this league there's a nice system of checks and balances. I've been in a lot of leagues before, and the commissioners do some dirty stuff. They change people's development traits. They go tweaking their players and all that stuff. And the people in the league don't really have any recourse. They don't have anything to do, any way to combat that. So what we have is a one-time vote call. Each user is going to have one of these, and you can use it whenever you want to. You can use it for anything. Let's say you make a trade. All right. Let's say you try to make a trade to get J.J. Watt, and the trade gets vetoed in the trade committee, but you thought it was fair. Well, you just reach out to a commissioner and you say, hey, I want to use my one-time vote call. I think y'all are just being biased. I think y'all are hating on me. I want to put my trade to a vote for the whole league. So then we're going to put it up to a poll. We'll let all 32 people vote on it. If you win and you get that player, you get your one-time vote call back. It's kind of like a coach's challenge in football. So you can do this with anything. If you win the decision, you get it back. But if you lose and they say, nah, man, you're tripping, ain't nobody going to let you get J.J. Watt for a 7th-round pick, you lose your one-time vote call for the rest of the franchise. So, but this is a way for all 32 people to kind of have a nice system of checks and balances. And like I said, it can be for anything. It can be for, hey, I don't agree with this rule. I think we should add a rule. I don't like the way this person's playing. I can't get in touch with them ever. Excuse me. We should vote to get rid of them. You can pretty much do anything. This is y'all's league. This is our league. So use this feature to make it whatever you want. Whatever you want to do, use that to your advantage. So this screen, I'm just going over the one-time vote call a little bit more. This is really important. This is probably the most important thing in the game. You can use this to fix, correct, change anything. So do not forget about this. It's really important. So Payton, if you can get to the trade slides, if you'd touch on the trades for me and how we do trades in Matrix, how they're going to work.
All trades must be approved by the trade committee before being accepted into the game. So that means it's gonna, as soon as you try to send somebody a trade, it goes straight to the committee. They see it, they talk about it, feel like, it's balanced out or one-sided. So I'm pretty even it out to make sure something out of it and not so nearsighted.
Right. You definitely, these trades, you guys got to send them to each other directly. Get with people in the DM, talk about your trade before you send it, and the other person accidentally accepts it, just like Payton said. So definitely that's important, Payton.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say I try to hurry up and just put a random trade and put some bums in there, and you accidentally accept it. Now you're pissed because you didn't really look through it. You just hit accept, but you didn't really know what was going on, so you're gonna kind of be pissed. But just make sure you go through the committee first before just sending anything, or y'all just have a good communication about it and just see what goes on with that.
Hey, I got some breaking news real quick. Theo in the group said that Pepe's not winning the division, so you guys got a nice little rivalry going already. I like this.
Yeah, I like that, man. It's gonna be a good game, man. I feel like it's gonna be a high anticipated game when we play.
Oh yes. All right, so how long, if I'm a user and I want to know some more rules in the trade, so how long does the trade committee have to vote on a trade, and what's the default setting if it's going to be approved or denied after that time period?
So the trade committee, they have 24 hours to vote on trades, basically to see can they accept it, can they deny it, or what's going to go on with that. If the trade committee they have to give a decision for 24 hours, the trade is approved by default.
So this is putting the pressure on the trade committee. If y'all don't want to pay attention, y'all don't want to get these people back the rulings on their trades, it's going to be automatically approved after 24 hours. So trade committee has 24 hours to get it together to vote on a trade, and if it doesn't get voted on, it's approved. So I think it's a pretty good balance in the system.
Yeah, so they're not really on top of it. It automatically goes through, and then both players should be pretty okay with it.
Yep. So once the trade is approved, no backing out of the trade, you guys. And I would like to probably adjust this down the road for once you submit a trade to the trade committee, you can't back out of it. I might have left a little bit of loophole in the wording there, so we might have to change that. But once you guys make a deal with somebody and it goes to the trade committee, stop taking offers, stop trying to trade people. Be fair to the other person. You know,
Get
and
man of
then
your word, basically. If you told somebody you're gonna do this and do that, just because somebody offers you something better, don't back out of it.
right. Once you agree to it, send it in, you know, and go ahead and move on to the next thing. So currently we can't make trades until week 3 for the first season. The reason we did that, a lot of guys in the league are new. Some of y'all already aren't keeping up with the chat. We might have to boot some more people. You've seen that's happen. I don't want people coming in here destroying the league, and then by week 4 everybody's tired of it and they want to quit, and it's, you know, not a good foundation. So, you know, give us, you know, a couple of weeks to get everything in order. Let the trade committee start listening to these offers. You can go ahead and start making your trades, but they can't process until week 3. So if you guys want to go ahead and start hitting people up, talking about deals, get them all worked out now, get them approved now, and then as soon as we advance from week 2 into week 3, those trades will be approved. So, you know, we just want to make sure that everybody understands their team, you understand your weaknesses. Start using the trade committee, give us that 2 weeks, and then we'll be good. And this is just for the first year. It's not going to be like this every season. This is just to give the trade committee time to get acclimated to how many trades are getting processed, and get people used to using the trade committee.
While we're on trades, y'all be more reasonable and be more, you know what I'm saying, balanced, like I was saying earlier. Because like if you're trying to get somebody like Julio Jones or something, man, don't offer somebody no like 2nd and 7th or like 3rd and 4th. Like, be like reasonable. Like, they have to get something out of it too. You just don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, make it so one-sided.
Right. And I understand, you know, people's point. They say, oh, you know, well, I go high, you go low. But if you come at me, you know, talking to me sideways with some BS, I'm not going to talk to you.
If I come back at you like that, then don't, you know what I'm saying? You got to.
Right. And then, you know, like, you're going to ruin all your trade values. I mean, if you try doing something like that, you know, I'm putting you on blast. Believe me. If somebody comes at me and says, hey, man, I'm going to give you the 6th-round pick for Le'Veon Bell, all that crap you was talking to me, I'm putting it in the chat, and I'm going to let people know you don't know how to trade. So, you know, be for real with your trades, man. Come on, you know, be reasonable. You know, come correct with them. If you offer bullshit, I'm going to put bullshit out to everybody to see. So that's on you. Last thing, if a trade is vetoed, the players in that trade can't sign with the other team for 2 weeks if they're cut. No backdoor cuts or free agency snipe trade deals. I've seen people have trades vetoed before, and then the other person say, "Hey, okay, it's no big deal. Just go ahead and cut that player, and I'll go sign him." So this rule's in place to make sure there's no little backdoor trade deals. If the trade gets vetoed, player's not going to your team. Plain and simple. Do not violate these rules, you guys. It's plain and simple. Don't break the game. Don't break the league. If you don't want to be in the league at any point in time, just hop out, man. It's no big deal. Nobody paid money to get in. It's free to play. So, you know, follow the rules and help make this a better experience for everybody. I'm not worried about competition in this league. I just want people to buy into it and have fun with it. You know, competition will get better over the years. So position changes. So, Payton, you are a position change tracker, so this is going to be your bread and butter right here. What are the things you're going to be looking for?
I'm going to be looking at basically anything, man, as far as movement from, you know what I'm saying, safety to linebacker, just anything crazy that shouldn't be happening or helping where it's not supposed to be unless it got approved by a commissioner. I'm going to double check with my commissioners when I see anything as far as moving, even like a linebacker to end. Like, I'm going to double check with my commissioner and make sure he like said it was okay, and they went through the process of talking to them and making sure they got that approved and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be on that like every night. So,
and we'll
be watching.
And we made it pretty simple, you know, not just for Payton and the Blessed to do this stuff, but for everybody. It's basic. It's football, guys. Your players got to stay in their position group. If they're a wide receiver, they're staying wide receiver. If they're a defensive back, they have to stay a defensive back. You can move a corner to safety, safety to corner, that's cool. But last time I checked, Cam Chancellor didn't spend one season as a safety, and then next season he's a defensive end in football. So let's keep it realistic, guys. Antonio Brown is not a tight end. All right? Orlando Scandrick is not a quarterback. So keep them in their position group. Be realistic with it. Be reasonable. You know, the one that we will allow that's a little bit different, which we understand, you know, 3-4, 4-3 defenses. If you have a linebacker and you want to move him to defensive end, get commissioner approval as long as he doesn't have speed, acceleration, and agility higher than the highest person in the league. So if you got, all you have to do is say, hey man, I've got this linebacker, I want to move him to defensive end, but his speed's a 93. If there's no other defensive end in the league that's 93, it's not going to happen. If it's old ass Terrell Suggs, and we look at the numbers and everything's fine, we're going to approve that. He can move to defensive end. But once you make these moves, they got to stay there now. The reason we do that is a lot of people want to glitch the XP, and they'll say, all right, I'm going to move somebody from linebacker this week and train him, then to defensive end the next week and train him with this group, and then right back to linebacker. There's a reason we put these rules in place, guys. It's to keep cheating down. It's to keep people from abusing stuff and spamming stuff. A lot of information drawn in from multiple years of 32-man leagues. So if you have a question with any of these, get with Payton, get with the Bless, get with me, get with your conference commissioner. But the rules are here for a reason. It's to make sure that we don't break the game. So that's pretty much it as far as position changes. So like Payton was saying, we are going to have season rewards. So this first season, after Week 4 preseason, I'm going to clear everybody's cap penalty. The team you picked, you were not the GM. You didn't sign any of these dumbass deals. I know I didn't sign Kirk Cousins to a $900 million deal. So, go ahead and cut who you need to cut, square away what you want to square away, and then we're going to clear the cap at the end of preseason Week 4. And then at the end of the first regular season, after you guys have made your, foundation piece trades and all that stuff, we're going to clear the cap again. So going into our second season, nobody should have any cap issues. From that point on, all of your GM skills and all of that and all your trades, it's on you. But what we are going to offer are season rewards. So if you play all your games during the season, that means no forced losses, no unscheduled sims. You're going to have your choice. We're either A, going to clear your cap penalty, or B, you can take a player trade upgrade. So what do I mean by a player trade upgrade? This is not Superstar, X Factor. This is none of that stuff. This is simply the discipline, swim move, stuff like that. It's not game breaking, not game changing, but it's things that you cannot really build in XP. So this is a way to kind of help out. You used to be able to build these things up, but you can do it for one player. So let's say you've got an offensive lineman, and he's a left tackle, and let's say he's undisciplined. Well, you can use your season reward, and you can now make him disciplined. Same thing with defensive end. If you have a defensive end, and he doesn't have the swim move, you can use a reward and give him that swim move trait now. So this is not X Factor, Superstar development, all that stuff. This is not game breaking. This is just a way to build players. So you'll get to pick between the two. And like I said, fair sims are okay. So fair sims and force wins. So if, let's say, Payton and I are scheduled to play, I reach out to him, he reaches out to me, we have different schedules. We try to set it up, but we can't, and then we report it to a commissioner. We say, hey, we have different schedules. It's going to be a sim. That's not going to count against you, all right? That's a scheduling conflict. But if Payton's supposed to play me, and I never reach out to Payton, and Payton's been hitting me up, hey, Mike, when can you play? I'm free on this time, blah, 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 and I never respond, that's an unscheduled sim and a forced loss for me. Another form of an unscheduled sim is, let's say Payton and I are supposed to play and neither one of us ever reach out to the other person. That's an unscheduled sim. So do you like the rewards, Payton? You think we did too much, too little? You think it's spot on?
Yeah, I feel like it's a good whereas people trying to play the game. Even like if you're not gonna tell everybody's not good because it's not good, but I mean eventually down the road, like and then eventually you're gonna be a good team about the caps. That's another positive for that. Based off what I was gonna say, double check y'all's depth chart. 'Cause I went on my roster and it was completely different from my depth chart. So I was cutting people and then I had a whole bunch of more people on my roster after I checked my depth chart that I didn't cut or I didn't even see at first. Because when your depth chart, they'll be completely different. You might have 5 wide receivers, but then when you go back to your roster, it says you have 9 wide receivers. So yeah, let's double check that on cutting and stuff like that. Because I kind of messed up with that, even though I still have 53 players. But just double check that so you can cut some of the bums that you don't want at all on your team to free up cap space.
Right, definitely. Like he said, your depth chart is your depth chart. So you might have 5 quarterbacks on your roster, but on your depth chart you can only show 3. So when you're making your cuts, definitely look at the roster, not the depth chart. The depth chart is just who's coming to play on Sunday and what's the position going to line up as. Now that you said that, Peyton, there is one last thing before we finish up that I want to touch up on. So the position changes. We're talking about actually editing the player's position. You can play an outside linebacker at defensive end in your depth chart. You can play a running back at wide receiver in your depth chart. You just cannot change their position in the game. So anything Madden will let you do with the depth chart, we're cool with that. That's football. That happens all the time. Christian McCaffrey lines up at wide receiver a lot. You have safeties that come up and do play a little bit of linebacker in the box, and you have a feature to do that now. You can actually, sub in the linebacker. It's one of the specialist positions. But again, we're never talking about your depth chart. Do whatever you want to in your depth chart. You just cannot edit the player's position to one of those unsanctioned position changes. So, all right, well, you guys, that's it. Peyton, thanks for linking up with me. You guys, I'm sorry if it went a little bit longer. We got pretty in-depth with it. We'll try to keep it shorter next time. If you guys like these videos, we'll keep them going. If you don't like them, we'll can them, and I'll shut my mouth, and Peyton can just sleep in the morning. All right, y'all take it easy. See you, bro. All right.